Hi guys, today again we are going to be talking about solving for a variable in terms of other variables. This time this one's advanced. Nothing too crazy, don't worry, I will walk you through each of the steps. In this particular equation that we're going to be seeing, we are going to be solving for the variable m. Okay, so this time you guys will notice that we actually have three different variables going on. So that's definitely probably why they're considering it advanced, but none of what we're doing here is outside of anything that we are capable of. We all know how to do this, and we always start out by drawing a line right down the middle of that equal sign, okay? So I see that we have the m over on this right-hand side of our equal sign, so probably want to avoid moving that first. A lot of solving these algebra problems, guys, is just getting comfortable with it and being able to kind of intuitively see what you need to do first. I see that m is already on the right-hand side, and I know that I'm also solving for m, so I probably don't want to move that over anywhere. That might change when we get into distribution problems or where there's the same variable on both sides of the equation. We don't know where it's going to end up. But for right now, we can always assume that we're going to leave that variable on the same side, okay? We have to just do some other stuff in the middle before we get m all by itself. So the first thing that I see here is that we are adding n to this 8m. So that means that I want to do that first. I want to get rid of that first. Some of you guys might see this 8 sitting in front of our m, but if I decided to divide by 8, I would have to divide this entire side by 8, and I don't want to do that. I just want to get rid of this n first. So again, remember, because I don't see a negative sitting here, I know that this is a positive n. This is a positive. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite, subtract. And again, anything we do to one side, we do to both sides. Positive n minus n is 0 n's. We got no more left over, and all we're left with on this right-hand side is 8m. Now over here, d and n are not like terms. They are not the same variable, so we cannot combine them, so we just simply leave this as d minus n. Okay. So now we have our m's all alone on this side, but there is still this pesky 8 sitting in front of our variable. Now think back, we all remember that anytime we see a coefficient sitting in front of our variable, we know that there is an invisible multiplication sign sitting in between those two things. So again, keeping in mind those opposite operations, we are going to divide by 8. Divide by 8, and anything we do to one side, we do to both sides. Anything I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that means our 8 cancels out, and remember that 8 over 8 is just equal to 1. We're left with 1m, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to rewrite my answer down here, d minus n, all that divided by 8 is equal to m. Okay, so again, we solved for the variable that they were asking us to solve for in terms of the other variables. Go ahead and take those notes down, and let's go through one more quick problem. This time we are going to be solving for b, the letter b. Our equation reads a is equal to 5b plus 11c. Whoa. There's coefficients sitting in front of both of our variables on the right-hand side. We got 3 variables. There's a lot going on here. But again, we approach this always the same. Draw that line right down the middle. Again, I know that I'm solving for b. B is only on one side of the equal sign, so I know that I'm just going to keep that over here. Whoops. I'm going to keep that over here. We're not going to move it over to the other side. We're going to deal with everything else first. I see that there is this positive 11c sitting over here as well. That is the first move that I want to make. This is positive, so we need to go ahead and do the opposite operation of subtracting it. And we just treat it as one whole entity. Minus 11c minus 11c. Anything we do to one side, I do to the other. Okay. Positive 11c minus 11c cancels out. We end up with 0 c's over there. And my left-hand side is going to read a minus 11c, while I bring down whatever's left over on my right-hand side of 5b. Now again, I know that there is an invisible multiplication sign sitting in between my 5 and my b, so I need to use the opposite operation to cancel that 5 out, and I need to divide by 5. Anything I do to one side, I do to both sides. We end up with one whole b, and I have successfully solved b for b in terms of my other variables, and it equals a minus 11c over 5. This is a pretty tough topic, and I know it can be really confusing sometimes, so if you guys have any issues at all, feeling like you're not quite sure how to solve these problems, if you're not comfortable using these opposite operations, just come find me. Always here to help you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.